So then one of the other questions I had, we're looking at the clock here. I want to be cognizant of time as we get close to the hour here. But what is the Flywheel infinity concept? That sounds very fancy. Can you tell me what that is?
That is the evergreen cycle. So the infinity is the symbol that we use to kind of codify this concept of the evergreen cycle. But it is just that. It represents that set of rules where like you buy Ample when you're feeling bullish and you sell into spot when you're feeling bearish. You can take risk on, put risk on, and take risk off in a cycle. And yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to look at how people talk about Bitcoin and how people treat it. People talk about Bitcoin as a store of value and digital gold, but then when people use it, they use it as if it were a tech stock, right? They kind of view it as a risk-on asset. And so when we talked about, the previous bull and bear cycles previously, a lot of that happens, as Evan was saying, that, when we, get past the bull market, people just sort of start sucking value out of the system to retreat into non-crypto assets. But if we had a store of value that was crypto native, then now finally there's a place where people can retreat to that's still within the crypto ecosystem. And so that's sort of the basis of when we talk about this cycle.
And then what do you guys plan for the next 6 to 12 months? We're wrapping up 24, and I've had a lot of questions for people talking about 25 roadmaps and stuff. I know you guys are here talking today, but what does 6 months look like? Because past February, it's kind of hard to project where markets might be, new U.S. president, new regulation. But give me a guess on what you think's going on.
You mean in general for the entire space?
Sure. And also, what are you guys specifically hoping to do or got planned?
Yeah, so I think like Virtual Bacon was saying earlier, I think people will start to travel down the risk curve, and they'll start to be a lot more appetite for assets that have the potential to grow tremendously, alt season, if you will. For us in particular, I think that the Bootstrap spot program will increase spot's liquidity to at least 50 million. I think it'll put significant upward pressure on Ample. I think it'll unlock a bunch of new potential integrations that we have already kind of like teed up and imagined. And I think that, with any luck, the education of things like the virtues of a low volatility commodity money like spot and things like the evergreen cycle will be kind of out there.
Yeah, you can look at kind of Ample spot right now in terms of and on DeFi Llama, just spot cash, spot.cash TVL, we're sitting at around 30 million, I think. So this is because the spot protocol has like really taken almost 2 years of battle test, and now they're finally ready to bootstrap that liquidity with extra rewards. So just go back about 10 months ago, looking at Athena's TVL right around this period before they really start to push. That's kind of the upside I see here, like for the catalyst in January. Now the other really interesting part is because Ample is the core engine behind Spot. So whenever there's a demand increase for liquidity to go into any of the spot pools, spot supply or just spot USDC pair, that all directly contributes to the whole supply growing, which puts upward pressure on Ample. So like easy way to track this is just go on like CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap and look at wrapped Ample. Like there's a extrapolated chart. Instead of following a supply chart, which is very hard, you can follow the price chart and you can clearly see people are taking notice.
Yeah, thanks. That was really clear. I mean, yeah, I almost forgot to say this, but because we're introducing a bunch of rewards for spot liquidity, when demand comes to buy spot, if spot price ever increases, there's an incentive for arbitrageurs to essentially buy Ample, mint spot, and sell it down, right? And so the demand for spot creates kind of upward pressure on Ample through this initial minting period, which is an important thing to note. But yeah, I do think that if you're curious, we haven't announced the launch moment of this liquidity bootstrap program. So to stay updated on that in particular, I would encourage you to follow our Twitter account, the Spot Protocol account. Visit www.spot.cash if you'd like to learn more about how all of this kind of weaves together. And if you're impatient and you just think that, this is going to work, but I don't want to wait for, the bootstrap program, then you could take a position in Ample and just hold that right now.